I'll be right back. I gotta pee. I have to pee again. I have to pee again. I'm gonna go pee.
Wait. You peed like 3 times in the last 10 minutes.
I have had to pee for the past 30 minutes, and every single time I go pee, nothing comes out.
Are you experiencing some like burning?
Itching, burning, it's really horrible. I like can't even sit still.
I think you have a UTI.
Oh.
A urinary tract infection. You need to call Dr. Wendy over here to the think tank so you can figure this out.
It is time for the think tank. And Dr. Wendy!
Hi everybody!
Thanks for coming back to the think tank.
Thank you for having me.
Today we're talking about urinary tract infections, UTIs.
Yes.
I've been hearing a lot about this recently. What is it?
A urinary tract infection is when bacteria makes it into the urinary system. Down in the genital area, if you will, there are 3 holes.
3?
3. The urethra, where you urinate, where you actually pee. The vagina, we all know what that does. And the anus. The bacteria in the anus and in around the vagina should not make it to where you urinate out of. It should make it into the bacteria-free zone of the urinary tract. But if bacteria make it in there and into the urethra, into the bladder, that causes an infection.
So just to be clear, urethra, vagina, anus.
That's right.
That's the lineup. And that's what it looks like
From front to back.
from front to back. And the anus and the vagina have some bacteria around them that we don't want to get to that front spot in the urethra.
That's right.
And how can we prevent that? Because doesn't that bacteria just crawl on its own legs and get there by itself?
Usually it doesn't. It's kind of a far distance. If you can imagine, bacteria are really, really little compared to the genital area. So they shouldn't be able to just make leaps and bounds all the way to your urethra.
That'd be like a snail trying to cross the Brooklyn Bridge.
That's exactly right.
Got it.
But if you put that snail in an Uber and ride it up to where the urethra is, it can get on out, climb on up.
So talk about what you mean in real terms when you talk about putting the snail in the Uber.
If you wipe from your anus or the vagina area up to where you urinate, to the urethra, you are carrying bacteria to that area. And the bacteria can then latch onto the walls of the urethra and climb up into the bladder and cause an infection.
So I just peed. All right, let me
It's all
get the
out.
toilet paper.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! I wipe up! I wipe up.
Bring from front to the back.
So push it down
There you go.
or go around the back?
Or go around.
Oh, this is a pose. I always wiped the wrong way. Here I am carrying fecal matter and vaginal matter into my
All
urethra
of the juices.
orifice. So it's no wonder that I would get a UTI. What are the symptoms? How can somebody know that they have a UTI?
So if you feel like you have to go to the bathroom super urgently, I have to go right now, and then you get to the toilet and only a little bit comes out. Also, if you have burning when you urinate, that's a sign. You have to go every 30 minutes or every 20 minutes, that's also a sign.
So does having a UTI affect your kidneys?
It can. Now we're in trouble because those kidneys have a lot of blood flow that comes through. That's how your urine is made. Your kidneys filter the blood and bring out the extra things you don't need, including extra water, and it filters down into the bladder, and that's how you urinate. However, if bacteria make it up into those kidneys, bacteria can go anywhere in your body's galaxy and cause a sepsis or a really bad body infection.
So it's like the barrier to entry.
That's right.
Right in the kidneys.
Right there.
That's a scary thought. Okay, I now feel like I sort of understand what you're talking about with the contamination of the bacteria in the urethra.
Right.
But I would love to see a visual demonstration of this so that I can really wrap my head around it.
Let's do it.
You've got it?
Yes.
All right, let's bring on the demo. Whew, look what we have here. Okay, so I think it's important to tell them that we are actually doing the experiment upside down. So the audience right now is going to need to look at a flipped version of this. So go ahead and flip it. Okay, now that we're flipped, you can see clearly here, this is the bottom. This is meant to be the urethra and the opening.
Right.
It connects inside into the bladder region.
That's right.
I'm gonna pour some ice in here and we're just gonna show, this ice is representing what it looks like when you wipe the proper way. Or, you know, when you're hydrated and you clear everything out, there's no bacteria. As you can see, the ice is just a normal color, and anything that is getting up into that bladder is clear.
That's right.
It's safe. So this is a model of a perfect person with no UTI. Now I have here an infected person. Now it's red, but don't let this be confused with blood. We are here just demonstrating the fact that this person has somehow got some sort of bacteria into the urethra region.
Right.
Whether it's from feces or the vagina or something that shouldn't be there. So let me go ahead and pour that in and then tell us what's happening.
So now the bacteria is making it up through the urethra into our clean bladder. And it's making the bladder infected with bacteria.
You can tell the bladder's a little upset because it is just raging with bacteria right now.
And it's squeezing and it's telling your body to empty, get this out, which is why you go to the bathroom really often, which is why there's not a whole lot of urine in there when you go, because your bladder is just overreacting to the situation.
Right. All right, now we can flip this view back forward. So now, Dr. Wendy, what if a person thinks they have a UTI, but they don't know what it is? What should they do?
Mainly, you have to really be in tune with your body. You have to know, am I itching? Do I have an odor? Or is my bladder irritated and having a discomfort? So the first thing they should do is drink their water and see if it gets any better. Sometimes people can also take cranberry pills, and that can sometimes help too.
So at the end of the day, it seems that the safest method for knowing if you have this is actually just go to your doctor.
That's right. If these methods, if you try to hydrate and you try cranberry pills and that's not helping, or you just think you have a urinary tract infection, a UTI, you probably need some antibiotics and you should just go to your doctor, get tested, get checked out.
If you never took antibiotics, would this clear up on its own?
It's not likely that it would clear up on its own, especially if it's a full-blown bladder infection or urinary tract infection.
Wow, I feel I've learned so much about UTIs right now. Not only did I learn about how to properly wipe, and I need to now go to the bathroom and implement my new skills, but I've also learned what's actually happening inside of the bladder when that bacteria gets into the urethra and causes a whole lot of problems. Dr. Wendy to the rescue. Just remember, Dr. Wendy is usually right because she is the doctor, so follow her on Instagram, ask her all of your questions, send me any messages that you have on Instagram, I'll direct them over to Dr. Wendy, and we will see you next time on The Think Tank.
Bye.
Bye.